Hi everyone, and welcome to a new series that we're doing, which is called Tuesday Talks. And we're going to do this every other Tuesday, where we have someone come in and chat to us, impart some information, and just give you some tips and how-tos. So if there's anyone that you want us to talk to, please let us know. We've got some amazing people lined up. But to start off with, I'm proud to introduce Lily, who you all know is the store manager in our Cobham store. And today we're going to talk to you about how to sell your wardrobe. The fashion industry produces an estimated 100 billion garments a year. And that 92 million tons of it ends up in landfill, which is so sad. So we want to tell you that you can actually sell your entire wardrobe, because this world has an abundance of stuff and clothing that could probably dress several generations of people. So today we're going to tell you how to sell your wardrobe, why, where to go to sell the certain items, and also just to give you some expert tips on how to get the most out of your selling your wardrobe, so how to get the most money. So Lily, why do we sell our wardrobe? Why do you sell your wardrobe?
So for me, I think it's one, keeping it circular because I want to keep it fresh. I like investing in good basics in lovely materials, but obviously you are going to add in a few little funky bits every couple of seasons. So for me, it's definitely about making money off the things that I no longer want. I don't want them taking up space in my wardrobe. When I know that it's kind of money sitting there, no matter where I sell it, there is some money sitting there that can go towards something else. That's personally how I think of it. And it's kind of like a fund to keep getting new bits and bobs, as well as just I hate having a full wardrobe of things that I don't reach for. So I think for me, it's definitely, well, for one, keeping it circular, but mostly making some money out of the things that I don't use anymore. Yeah.
So for me, selling my wardrobe is entirely about having that circular mindset, keeping your wardrobe circular, buying with the mindset of selling. So I always sort of buy items that I know that I'm going to sell, that I will sell in the future. And actually, I've done really well on some of my stuff that I've sold. I've sold some amazing stuff. So I suppose, how do you know what to sell? I mean, for you, how do you know what to sell? Is it when you've had enough?
Yeah, so I think, the trends change every season, obviously, but that's not how everyone dresses. I like to think everyone kind of wears what I don't know about you, but there's a mix of what's fashionable that season, but also what you love, which I think is a really important thing, because that's how you build longevity in your wardrobe. I feel like, as though if you love what you're buying and you're not just buying it because so and so told you to, but yeah, I think there's still ends up being pieces that you just think, I haven't worn that, or I've worn it so many times I'm actually bored of wearing it now. I've really got my cost per wear out of it, and now it's time for someone else to have it. Or you just think, well, that was a bit of a mistake. Or sometimes you think, well, I need something for a wedding or an event, or things like that. It's
so for me, I always find that, like, I buy something, I love wearing it, and then I fall out of love with it, or it doesn't really suit me anymore. Maybe my shape has changed, or maybe it's just I think, it makes me look a little bit boxy or whatever. Then I think, okay, fine, I've got to get rid of it, because I tend to sort of add to my wardrobe pieces that I know that are going to sell. So once you've done your declutter, once you've kind of sort of gone, okay, these are the pieces I don't want to wear, these are the pieces I don't like, where do we sell them?
So we have a couple of options. There is a place for everything. Every item in your wardrobe has a place that it can go. But you have two avenues. You can do it as a private seller on a marketplace, or if you can take it to an individual person. On quite a lot of levels. I know that you can do it There's people that do
Yeah.
that for high street, and there is also people like us that do it for luxury. So that those are your kind of two different avenues, I feel.
So I sort of feel also all the lower price point pieces, so, you know, items that you maybe got from the high street, Zara, that sort of thing, that where it's a nice piece, but you just not wearing it anymore. They are really great for places like Vinted, Depop, maybe even eBay.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Have you sold on Vinted? Or?
I love Vinted, but Vinted definitely has, I'm sure everyone watching this has also experienced this, there is a ceiling for Vinted, that there's just a certain value of item that you just don't get the money for. So there's all those high street bits I find to sell best, really truly high street bits like Zara, bits from M&S, you know, amazing M&S's these days. All those high street bits basically I think sell best on Vinted. But that's kind of, you're happy to get £10, £15.
Yeah. Sort
of maximum 50 maybe. Trainers is also great on Vinted. I sell a lot of my footwear on Vinted. But it's
what about Depop? Have you sold on Depop?
So I think Depop is a younger audience, but that's good if you've got like streetwear or things that are popular, like pretty Instagrammy, if you know what I mean. Like those kinds of lounge
retro, very retro kind of, I
mean, I don't personally use Depop now, but I did when I was much younger, and that's not to say that people don't use it now. It's just, for me, my go-to is Vinted. If I'm looking for things, I'm looking on Vinted as well as selling.
Have you bought on Vinted?
I have bought on Vinted,
and is it easy to buy?
What's good is once you've bought a couple of times, is the algorithm gets more intelligent and it shows you what you like and all that kind of thing. But it is a bit of a minefield when you first start looking, but you just have to be really specific. If you're after a leopard print coat, just like be specific, don't give a brand, but you'll then get all sorts of different things. And quite often if there's something that you think, oh my god, I wish I'd got that, you'll be able to find it on Vinted quite a lot of the time. A dress or a top or something, it's quite good at things like that.
I mean, as a business, we also use sites like eBay, Vestiaire. We use all these sites, but they don't sell as fast as within our stores. No. I think especially with luxury, and when you're investing in a lot of money, you spend more time wanting to try it on, feeling it, rather than just purchasing it outright.
For sure, and those marketplaces are saturated. There is
there's
so much stock.
Oh my god,
on all of them. Like, I know if anyone's looked through Vestiaire, it's full to the brim. Which I often think people find the most amazing things, but you have to be able to be bothered to sit there and look, and
also take the gamble.
Exactly.
The gamble of purchasing it. Are you going to like it?
For sure.
So I've kind of like sort of worked out. So if you are selling lower priced items, it's Vinted, Depop, eBay is actually good for that as well. More sort of luxury marketplaces, there is Hardly Ever Worn It, I think is good. And then Vestiaire. Those are the kind of like marketplaces. Places like us, there are so many, but what we do is we provide a service, don't we?
Yes.
So people bring you stuff and then you take care of it all.
It's so super easy. And the good thing about somewhere like us is that we know exactly what we'll sell. We know our market. We know what we'll be able to sell something for. We know who's going to buy it. It's because as we're in a store, we're picking up people's purchasing habits, because we've also got a website as well. So we know exactly what sells best for us, which is what I always say when people bring things in and I say no. I always say it's nothing personal. It's just that I would hate for you to waste your time with us for 8 weeks when there is 100% somewhere else
that will sell.
And unfortunately with us, we just don't have the right customer for it.
Because with us, we sell. We probably sell 90% of the stock that people bring in to us. Maybe even more. Some people sell out completely, but we know our market. We know what kind of shopper shops with us, and so we take those items in, and then we do everything else. So market them, photograph them. What else are you doing?
Well, the nice thing as well is because we've got the stores, people are coming in, you're advising them, you're showing them things. We're pulling your items out to show people. It's not that they're going. Well, I mean, obviously people do come rooting through the rails. That's literally our everyday customer. But we're also thinking, oh, I know I've got this. And we're pulling things out for your customers. So you really are getting targeted eyes on your items, and we are actively selling them for you. It's not just that it comes in and it sits on the rail. We're marketing it, it's going on Instagram, it's going on the website, we're putting it on the mannequins.
Absolutely.
It's being shown to people who come into the store. It's a real active process on our side, which you obviously don't get when something's just listed on a website. And people can try things on, which I think is one of the biggest benefits from selling in somewhere like us. Because you can try them on. You can't do that anywhere else.
No. I think that's why the Real has done so well in the US, is because they've got stores everywhere. And it's not just online. So moving on to the next point that I think is quite important is pricing.
Yes.
So as a rule of thumb, so everyone, if you're wanting to sell any of your stuff, I mean, this is not, this does not relate to high street items. I'm afraid high street items do tend to just go for the 10, 20 pounds. Sometimes you can maybe push it up to 50. I think I've sold a blazer that I probably paid 150 pounds for at Zara or maybe 30. So it does, that is a totally separate thing. But luxury items, it's usually a third of what you paid for. And that's kind of a baseline, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's quite often that's the lowest. Not the lowest, but it's kind of
the minimum. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes depending on the item and the season and the trends, it can be less than that. But I always say to people bringing things in, a third is the baseline. You won't be surprised, basically. If you're imagining we're going to price it for a third and you'll get your share, you're not going to be surprised by the amount that you get back, basically.
So this is for clothing.
Yeah, clothing. Yeah. So it's not at all the case for, unfortunately for shoes, it's probably a little bit less than a third. But bags is a completely different ballgame.
Bags is very different. And it's also not the pricing is not only down to like basing it on a third, it's also down to trends at that moment, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Because it's not just going, well, I paid this much for this, and so therefore a third is however much. Unfortunately, that's not always the case, because it might be something that's still got a market, but it's not as desirable. For example, fur. Things with fur on them.
They used to sell so well years ago. I mean, we'd have a rail of fur and then we'd just go. Not anymore. And also, I remember when we used to sell the Fendi baguettes for like £50. I'm not joking.
I know.
Can you imagine paying that for them now?
I know. I remember Sally saying that to me as well.
I mean, and there have been other bags that have sort of just been, So bags are a bit different. I think we should talk about bags because it's important. Hermes is probably one of the only brands I know that can use it. It sells for the same price, and as soon as you take it off the shop floor, it goes up in value. And that's only because of supply and demand. Yeah. And because it's such a luxury piece. The other bags like that are Chanel. I know Chanel, their prices have really gone up. They've really gone up in value in the store, and it's also really difficult to get one in the store nowadays.
Yeah, that's the thing as well.
So then it is compounding in our stores, so the prices tend to go up for the second-hand ones. But we have noticed like there's been a massive resurgence. So when you find out more about Chanel, that there's a bit of a history, and all their vintage pieces were made with this is pre-2008, were made with the hardware is made with 24 karat plated gold. So they've become super
yeah, because you can't argue with the quality. We've got one up there that's 20 years old, and the hardware is immaculate.
Amazing.
Which unfortunately just isn't the case with a kind of after 2008 bag, to be honest. It goes
Yeah.
the chain, and it's just the hardware doesn't have the same longevity as the gold-plated hardware does, unfortunately. So that does cause a massive makes the demand increase so much more. I think people want so many people come in and say, no, I want the vintage.
A lot of people are looking for the vintage pieces because they have that kind of and then what other bags do you think are having a moment? I know Loewe, we can't keep them in the store. They just come in and go out. What other bags?
Well, I actually think we are finding like vintage Gucci is also another one. I feel like that just flies out because it's having, I mean, I don't know what it is. It's probably slightly that it's trend driven. I think they're also a little bit individual. They're a little bit, they look very different to your everyday bags now. But we find when we get the vintage Gucci bags in, they just fly out. Yeah. Because they're iconic as well.
They are.
So that's another one. And then also, I mean, YSL was always a good one. And Gucci in general,
I think with YSL, because the prices have gone up so much in the stores, I think it's losing its appeal. Yeah,
it sort of works if we're good on the price, basically.
Yeah. So I feel like the sort of newer Gucci's and YSLs just don't have doesn't have the value there anymore.
But there's older ones that still are people still after
the vintage ones,
or even just ones from like 5 years ago, like the Gucci Soho disco bag.
Oh yeah,
we could sell those every day of the week.
Day. Yeah.
Still people come in asking for those. So it's quite interesting.
And I think another one that's having, I mean, I sort of feel there's like a little bit of an undercurrent happening, and I'm sure it's going to be sort of trending, is the Speedy, the Louis Vuitton Speedy. God, they come in and go out.
They do. They really do. So,
and it's possibly one of my favourite bags. It just is such a great bag because you just can fit so much in it.
And they never look outdated or anything.
No.
They just always look cool, they work.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And the more beaten up, kind of, the better.
Yeah. The more beaten up.
Because that leather just ages so beautifully.
Unbelievable. So, anything else that we need to talk about on the bag prices, do you think?
So with the bags, I know that people always wonder what they'll get back for them.
Yes.
And the thing is with us, we are experts on pricing because we do it every single day. And I mean, the manager in Wimbledon, she's got unbelievable experience. She's been in resale for such a long time.
Yeah.
So we truly know where your bag will sell best at which point within which price bracket. So that is the benefit of coming to us. You may think, I want this much back, but we do truly know how much that bag is going to sell for.
The true value.
And if you go with us and you say, yep, that's fine, we're often guaranteed super quick. I mean, it will sell really quickly, which is what everyone wants at the end of the day. You don't want it sitting here, and if you want to sell it, you want to sell it, obviously you want that money out of it. So that is the thing about us, and also we do so much research. So much research. We don't just pull the price out.
And often I find on the marketplaces, it's just it's anyone just trying to sell a bag. So they tend to put the prices on there, and some of them are really high, and you know you're never going to get them. And then some of them are really low, and you're thinking, what are you doing? What are you doing? Is it real?
So that's the thing, because Vestiaire is a good place to look, but it is individuals setting their prices, whereas we're looking at a lot of similar marketplaces like us where we kind of are setting
and we've sold
the general price, and we're also looking in our previous stock because we sell so many bags. So we're looking at our previous stock and thinking, okay, so that was that, and we sold it for this much, and it was that condition, because the sales don't lie, our market doesn't lie. So there's a lot of research that goes into the bags. Massively, and we are the experts. Not to toot our own horn, but we are the experts in pricing.
No, you definitely are. You always get the prices right. So I suppose everyone wants to know, what do we need to do to get the best prices for our clothing, for our bags, for our jewellery? What is the main thing that we need to do?
So the main thing is to look after it.
And keep them clean.
If you get a hole or something, have it repaired. Be careful how you store things, be careful how you wash them. It's not necessarily about having things dry cleaned every time you wear them. I mean, I know that I just chuck everything in the washing machine and hope for the best. But it is purely about taking care of the items, because if you take care of your item, it will take care of you and you'll get more money out of it at the end of it. Whereas if you kind of wear it and you don't really care about it, then unfortunately there won't be as much value left in it at the end. So yes, if you just look after your wardrobe, and it's not hard to do, it's just little bits and bobs, that will get you the best return on it, to be honest.
And also, like, a little tip is, when you've used your bags, take the small little nozzle from on your vacuum cleaner and give it a little vacuum inside, because that dirt sometimes can sit there and it actually stays. So give it a vacuum every time, you know, you're putting it away. Let's say you've used the bag for a couple of weeks, you're moving to another bag, have a little vacuum. Or you can actually go onto Amazon and buy ones. We've got one in the store. They're so cute, these little vacuums. And so get one of those.
And a fresh mark is the easiest one to get out.
Yes.
The longer it sits there, the more ingrained it is, and it's going to be so much harder to get out. Whereas if you suddenly think,
and it devalues the bag.
Exactly. Whereas if you suddenly do something and you think, oh my god, I need to, and you sort it out within the next couple of days, most of the time you'll be fine. It will, because that fresh mark's not soaked into it yet. More in the lining than the actual bag, but there are things you can do for the leather.
Another tip is saddle soap. Saddle soap is, actually Telly told me about that. So saddle soap is one that you should use, and I've used it on a couple of my bags. Honestly, it's this kind of like polish that you put onto leather bags. Go onto Amazon, buy it, and then you can just really polish it up, and it makes the leather go psh.
Really?
Yeah. So that is, and then another thing is jewelry. Get them cleaned. Take them to be professionally cleaned every now and again, because clean, sparkly jewelry sells so much quicker than dull.
It also will make it last longer, because the longer that dirt sits in there, it's like wedged against the setting. Probably causing the stone to get a little bit looser. So as long as you keep it clean, it's going to last longer, because there's no grime or anything sitting in that. I think it's just like, because obviously the more grime that's in there, the more you pack more in. So it's just keeps being pressure on the stones and things, and on the setting and all that kind of thing. But also just looks lovely to be all sparkly. They look lovely, and they look new. That's how to make your jewelry look new, is to literally have them polished.
Absolutely. And then another thing, on wool and cashmere knits, is debobble them, because you just need to do it 2 or 3 times, and then it'll stop bobbling up. So if you just go take a debobbler over it a couple of times after you've worn it, it gets rid of all that extra sort of fine hair, and then it makes the knitwear last so much longer.
Oh, it literally looks new,
brand new.
Well. So we love the shaver, but you can also get those combs. We have a shaver here. But there's all sorts of options. There are
loads of options, and you just go on to
Amazon. Or Steamery.
Steamery, we love Steamery. What else can we do to get the best price? Look after our stuff, keep them clean, make sure they've mended.
I don't know. I think it's purely about keeping them. Oh, you've got everything.
I do. I've had a brainwave. Keeping all the provenance.
Of course.
Of course, it's like the most important. So any provenance you have for a really, really high value item. So if you buy a Cartier watch, keep the box, keep the little certificates.
Those are so important.
It's so important,
because something like Cartier, they don't reissue that.
No, they don't.
They give that to you and that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. And they are so important. They hold so much value for the item, and you get more money for them when you sell them. And the same with bags. Keep the dust bag, number 1. Keep the box if you have the space. If you don't, that's not too bad, but keep the dust bag. Keep any sort of a little card or provenance that they put inside. You can keep the receipts. They do add value.
And it's also good for us to see. I mean, it's nice for us to see. We authenticate anyway, but it's nice when people bring in the receipts as well. We do always obviously cross off all the personal information, but people it's reassuring.
And I would be very careful buying super luxury items online. I just, make sure that you're buying them from
someone that's going to authenticate,
Yeah,
guarantee the authenticity.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is all we have for today.
Is that okay?
Yes. So today I want to say thank you to the Cobham Larder for
Our
their
favourite coffee.
They've given us our coffee for our Tuesday talks today. We will see you in 2 weeks' time for our next talk, and we'll let you know what that's all about. But if there is someone you would like us to have a talk with, someone local in Cobham or Wimbledon or anywhere, get in touch and let us know. Thank you.
Thank you.